Hi YouTube, Darth here. This is Yes or No, a weapon review series where I give a clear and concise answer as to what weapons you should be using in Battlefield. Today's weapon is the PKP Pecheneg light machine gun, which I also refer to lovingly as the Pecheng Pecheng. The Pecheng Pecheng, or PKP, is one of the Battlefield big boys and dishes out a ton of damage fed by big Russian bullets. So the question today is, should you be using the PKP, yes or no? Yes, and this is a pretty emphatic yes. The PKP is almost certainly one of the top 5 LMGs in Battlefield 4, and its accuracy advantages over the M240B make me wonder just who deserves the top LMG award. But enough of the upselling on this weapon, let's talk about the specifics of what makes the PKP a great weapon. With 33 damage up front and trailing to just 21.6 at a range of 65 meters, the PKP can kill in just 4 bullets on normal core. When these bullets start flying, enemies will scatter because just 2 will drop a foe with headshots. The damage per bullet is on par with the other 2 big boys of Battlefield, the M60 and the M240B. The minimum time to kill of the PKP is just 302 milliseconds up close, 345 milliseconds at 25 meters, and 508 milliseconds at 60 meters. It's not the fastest killing LMG, but it is just slightly faster than average. It's faster than the average automatic and average LMG, and delivers a lot of damage even at medium to long range. One of the nicer features of the PKP is the balanced left-right recoil. At 0.35 degrees left and right, this makes it a relatively easy weapon to control on console and PC. Its balanced recoil makes it very controllable, and in this way its performance even tops the M240B. With an otherwise average box magazine reserve of 100 rounds, the PKP is the kind of gun you can bring into battle all week. While the Scar H is scary in bursts, the PKP carries enough ammunition to dispatch an entire 32-man team. And then it just keeps shooting. The first shot recoil multiplier of the PKP is just 1.25. That means after the first bullet, the upwards kick will only be multiplied by 1.25. This makes the PKP a tap-fire beast, and considering that it only needs 2 to 4 bullets to kill, this is a very good pairing. Only the M60 is better in this respect. So that's a lot of positives for the PKP Pecheneg. It brings a ton of damage combined with a good degree of accuracy and some nice feature pairings. If you want reliable big boy DPS, this is certainly a good place to look once you've mastered basic recoil control in Battlefield 4. It was one of my early personal favorites in Battlefield 4, though I've lately been playing a little more with the M240B and the M60. But let's look at what's not so great on the PKP. At just 600 rounds per minute, there isn't a whole lot of room for missed shots. It's definitely on the low end for automatics, but isn't far below the average for the light machine guns of Battlefield 4. Thankfully, the extreme bullet damage makes up for this, or it might be in a much more sore spot. With a minimum and maximum time of 5.5 seconds to reload the box magazine, you're well behind the curve for automatic weapons. So pushing when you're running low is definitely out of the question. But compared to the other box-fed LMGs, the PKP is the fastest among them. Hybrids like the QBB and AWS are slightly faster, but the PKP is far superior to both of them in many other respects. At 560 meters per second, the PKP Pecheneg has the slowest bullets of all the LMGs. Despite what I said about the AWS, this weapon takes the cake in this respect. Your big, slow bullets are going to mean a lot of lead time on long-range targets and potentially a higher number of missed shots. The nice offset is that these bullets still pack a punch even at long range. So the PKP is a certifiable killing machine. It has some things that make it slightly below average in the LMG category, and its long reloads offset its large ammo capacity. But otherwise, it's got a lot of characteristics that make it a real standout. Let's see how it stacks up against some other LMGs. From these charts, we can see that the PKP is definitely a leader even against the M240B. The M240B is going to win in the extreme close game of less than 10 meters, but most battlefield engagements are going to occur from 15 meters to roughly 35 meters. In that range, the RPK is actually going to be more accurate, but you're going to have to be quite precise with your shots, and you're also going to trade away half your magazine capacity. Even so, the PKP is still a super respectable gun and is definitely one of the top LMGs in Battlefield 4. The unlock requirements for the PKP Pecheng Pecheng are pretty straightforward. It's the third support weapon to be unlocked and requires just 19,000 LMG score. If you're somehow new to Battlefield 4, pretty much you just need to find a nice lane to post up and start defending with the other 2 LMGs available to you. Maps like Metro and Lockers usually provide plenty of bodies for this purpose. Personally, if you're just going to use a bipod, the best spots are probably snow or on the center of lockers. Just keep shooting. It's pretty much that simple on those levels, and probably why so many people grind them for unlocks. Now, the PKP is not the hardest LMG in the game to use effectively. Its recoil model per bullet is 0.43 degrees up, 0.35 left, and 0.35 right with a first shot recoil multiplier of just 1.25. This means that your bullets are going to travel up in a roughly V shape. Now, the upwards recoil is probably the thing that's going to concern you the most, so let's try working against that. The nice thing about the PKP is that you'll only have to counter that upwards recoil. Pulling straight down should suffice on a mouse. Obviously, the longer you shoot, the wider your spread of bullets is going to become. The PKP's spread is not unusually large at 0.104 degrees per shot, so this can also be managed by some careful bursting. Another nice feature of the PKP is that it has a very low first shot recoil multiplier. This means that you can pretty much tap fire this weapon to your heart's content. Keep in mind that kill shots with the PKP are going to require you get 2 to 4 rounds into your targets, so you may wish to generally try for that many bullets. Otherwise, keep shooting until they fall over. The PKP is not the best weapon in Battlefield 4 to try and confront enemies in CQB. In fact, you're probably going to lose to a laundry list of automatics and certainly to shotguns. You can definitely hold your own, but if you don't get that initial shot in, you'll probably be at a disadvantage. Particularly because of the low rate of fire, if you're surprised and start missing your shots, you're going to be in a world of hurt. With the PKP, you're going to want to try to catch your enemies beyond 10 meters, so running with squad mates and keeping to cover is certainly a viable option. Once you're in battle, you've got more than enough ammunition to deal with waves of enemies. But if you get caught in close range, you still might want to keep a fast-killing secondary like the G18 or Shorty handy. Realistically, you can treat the PKP like it's an assault rifle with crummy bullet velocity and big bullets. So in a way, it's not that much different from the Scar H. Both have low rates of fire, do a lot of damage, and have low bullet velocity. The advantage for the PKP is that it has a lot more bullets. The only catch of that ammo advantage is that it comes with a long reload at 5.5 seconds. If you find yourself reloading, it should be in a lull in combat or behind a wall, but make sure you're covered in either respect. Otherwise, you're pretty much free to run amok with the PKP. It's great in a lot of situations and has only a handful of things about it that are even slight detractions. It can even be great at range when you burst fire and lead your targets effectively. The PKP can pretty readily pick up just about any attachment you want to throw on it, but there are some definite advantages to be had out there. As per usual, I cross-referenced BF4stats.com leaderboards with battle log, and I wasn't too surprised. The top players with the PKP tended to prefer the red dot sight, a target detector, a suppressor, and a multitude of different grips. That setup is fine on its own, and the suppressor does turn the PKP into a close-range killing machine, but it's not my preferred loadout. So what did I end up using? For the optic, I went with the hollow sight. Either the HT33 or one of the others, whichever is your preference. In general, when I run hollows, I like to use the HT33 because it has slightly less visual clutter. As for the specific range, I think the PKP does better beyond the CQB, where a red dot might be best, and it's really quite capable at range when you burst fire. My favorite accessory for the PKP is the laser sight. It's going to give you a little bit more power in the close game, and combined with the high damage model, a little bit of hip fire is going to put you on par with the close range blasters. Getting surprised in CQB is not an advantage of the PKP, but you can even the field by using that laser. Just don't plan to use that much beyond immediate danger. For my barrel, I chose the heavy barrel. Now what this is going to do is give you a little bit less spread per shot and a little bit better on the move fire in exchange for some more upwards recoil. Because your primary behavior with the PKP should be bursting, and because of the damage model on this weapon, the compensator is not quite as good of a pick. Plus, the on-the-move benefit makes you even more dangerous in close quarters. Finally, for the grip, I ran with the vertical or ergo grips. The low first shot recoil multiplier means that no angled or folding grips are necessary, and you could theoretically use the stubby to give yourself a bit more aimed accuracy. But again, with the optimal burst fire of this weapon, there's really no need for that. Pairing with the vertical or ergo grips will help your hip fire and on-the-move potential with the PKP, and really just helps to eliminate the up-close weak point on the PKP. So the PKP is one of the best LMGs in the game, and it has serious positives in its corner that make it hard to top. I ended up enjoying a lot of my recent time with the PKP, a weapon I hadn't used that much of since launch, as it does have some shortcomings in the close quarters game. It's pretty hard to go wrong with the PKP, so it's a really firm yes. If you're looking for something similar with a little bit better of a close game, you can always give the M240B a shot. The M240B is probably my favorite LMG just because it has that little additional close-in advantage, and I'm definitely a fan of pressing into enemies at close range. If you want an LMG with a bit more accuracy than the PKP, you can go with the other powerful Russian LMG, the RPK. The RPK doesn't do quite as much damage up front and has a unique damage model, but it does have better aimed accuracy and can be exceptionally lethal in the hands of players who aren't likely to miss very much. That's it for this episode of Yes or No. If there's something you think I missed, or if you have a particularly different take on the PKP, please let me know in the comments below. If you've got a weapon you'd like me to review for Battlefield, also leave a comment. If you like what you saw, be sure to force choke that like button. If you're new here, check out my channel and consider sticking around with a subscribe. And as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time, YouTube.